I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to note that in 2024, child advocacy centers provided assistance to over 370,000 children nationwide who suffered abuse. 370,000 children in 1 year alone. For those who might not be aware, after a child is tragically exploited or sexually assaulted by a predator, one of the first places a victim is taken is a child advocacy center, or CAC. At CACs, specialized interviewers are able to work with the child victim to not only make them feel safe and secure, but also to get vital information that can be used by law enforcement to identify and arrest the offender. These often horrifying details are then used by our prosecutors, who stand firmly with this legislation to ensure the predator is put behind bars. My most recent visit to a CAC was in October this past year, last year, I guess. I had the pleasure of meeting with the executive director of the Missouri Network Against Child Abuse, Jessica Seitz, and her team at the Union, Missouri Child Advocacy Center. The work these incredible individuals do every single day to protect and help children going through unspeakable trauma deserves the highest recognition. I want to ensure that they are recognized on the floor of this chamber, all of them, for what they do in Missouri and beyond. And I want to recognize all of the CACs throughout the United States that open their doors every day to help those who need it most. The legislation before all of us today will turn our gratitude into action, Mr. Speaker. We will get these organizations, the amazing people who work there, and the children who rely upon them, the resources they so desperately need. Mr. Speaker, in closing, I'd like to first thank my co-leads for their help in pursuing and pushing for this legislation forward. Representatives Derek Schmidt, who we heard from, and Nathaniel Moran, Stephanie Bice, Jim Costa, and my dear, dear friend across the aisle, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, who I wish could have joined us today for this debate. I'd also like to thank the House Judiciary Committee and the Appropriations Committee, who had a strong hand in this, and Leader Scalise for working with my team to bring this bill to floor, and of course, Congresswoman Lucy McBeth for her tremendous support and her testimony to just the terrible injustice and travesty that she has endured. I want to thank her for her support and her management of this piece of legislation, H.R. 909, across the aisle. Through our collaboration, we were able to include strong language ensuring a comprehensive audit of the CVF will be delivered to Congress. The information from this audit will help us do our jobs as policymakers and properly plan for the future of the CVF and avoid another crisis like this. To the dozens and dozens and dozens of supporting organizations that stood with me in this fight, including the National Children's Alliance, the National District Attorneys Association, RAIN, Covenant House, the National Network to End Domestic Violence, the National Network to End Sexual Violence, and the National Association of Assistant U.S. Attorneys. Our work is not done. We can and must get this bill through the Senate, as we discussed across the aisle, and signed, Mr. Speaker, into law. It has been an honor to lead this effort, and I am humbled to have gained co-sponsors from well over a majority of the United States House Republican Conference and 75% of the entire House of Representatives. This could not have been accomplished without dedication, teamwork, and true get-stuff-done attitude. Representing our constituents in this chamber is not a job, Mr. Speaker. It is a calling. And there is no higher calling than helping the most vulnerable in our society. I again urge all of my colleagues to support this legislation, H.R. 909, and I yield back the balance of my time.
Thank you. The question is, will the House suspend the